You guys must be a slow news day. Go ahead.
It appears that you will not reappoint Stanley Jackson to the school board. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
No, I don't know that that has been. Did you get a message that that's been decided? Yeah, I don't. There's not. I'm still going to meet with staff. I mean, they feel very strongly about the fact that he brings certain things that we need, but we'll see. It's not decided. We'll let you know as soon as we decide.
Do you have
school
anybody else in mind?
No, not at this point.
School Board Association, wondering whether this grade system could include like a B- or a C+, that might make a difference. Is it definitive how these grades are going to be reached, the formula?
Well, I mean, there's nothing that's ever, completely locked in stone. In fact, people wanted to have the composite next year, and I said, let's wait till the core curriculum. But I think if you start getting to B- and A-, and do we get extra credit, and it starts going back to confusing people. I mean, A, B, C. I mean, my kids now do get like B+ in school, so I don't know. I'd have to hear a compelling case, but we don't lock down on anything. Anything is subject to change if we can do it better.
You said you won't have a school funding bill per se, but more of a school reform bill?
Well, no, I mean, it's going to obviously have funding, but I think, it'll be up to you to judge whether it's significantly different. But I believe it's more than just the dollars. There are things that are connected to it that that are different than I think how we traditionally. Let's look at the printout, see who wins and who loses. There'll be other components to the bill that'll be beyond that.
Is it done?
No, I don't think it's completely done, but it's close. And I'm amazed that it's remained so quiet. I continue to be amazed that our people don't leak, which is really good.
Is that a challenge?
No, I'm not. No, it's not a challenge. I'm just pleased because you don't want to get things out before it's completely done, and you don't want to get things out until you have a really good way of explaining it, because it's very complicated. This, school funding is extremely complicated. You move one thing and it moves another, and so you really want to get it right, and you don't want to confuse people out of the box, Joe. So no, I'm just really pleased that we haven't. First of all, I think if they try to get it out there, if somebody tried to explain it, it's so complicated that it would come out piecemeal. So we're going to have a whole night of this. We're going to have. I think the schedule is, I'm going to speak to all the superintendents with the team, and then I think later that night we'll have another town hall meeting so we can speak directly to the public, and then there'll be another day, I think. Is that right, Connie?
We'll have more specifics coming.
Okay.
Is this before the State of the State?
Yes, it's definitely going to be before the State of the State and before the budget.
So, Governor, let me take you from Hamilton County to Washington, D.C.
Do we have to?
Yes, we have to. When you were in Congress, you were actually there when the government was shut down. A couple hours ago, the President gave his 37th and final press conference of his first term. What's your counsel to congressional Republicans in terms of holding his feet to the fire so much that we either go into a government shutdown or default?
Thank you.
I'm going to let them work on their problems. I'll work on mine. I don't think they need my advice, nor would they appreciate it.
But Ohio will be infected if the government does shut down, because I think there's something like 12,000 federal employees in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, they've got their problems. I've got my challenges. Let's just leave it there. I mean, I think a couple years ago I probably would have said all kind of things and made all kind of news, but it's just
we like those days.
Yeah, I know. It's just you learn about leadership that. But the only thing I can say is you need give on both sides. And when I was there, people say, "Well, how would you handle it?" Well, I'm not there now. But in 1997, I had a robust relationship with people that didn't think the way I did, and we were able to work it out. But I'm not there now to try to force change. So I just can't comment. I'm not prepared to comment. Okay, I want to try to be answering your question, but I really don't want to answer it, because here's the thing: I'm not there. If I were there, could it be different? Maybe. But I don't want to be so presumptuous or arrogant to say, well, if I was there, I could fix this. The problem is you have people worried about this debt, and they are dug in on both of their positions in terms of how they think it should get resolved. And what I worry about are my kids. They need to solve this debt problem because it's going to eat us alive, swallow us up, and make us weaker as a country. And that's all I can say at this point.
State of the state in Dayton?
You know, I don't think we have not got that letter yet from Speaker Batchelder, so I can't yield that yet.
Would you like to see teacher bonuses tied to the report card?
Well, I'm a big believer in teacher bonuses, but we think we have a way, perhaps in our school education proposal, that could allow school districts to design programs. You know, the Cleveland Public Schools have that now with the passage of the Cleveland Reform Bill. I'm a big believer that you can pay people more who do excellent jobs. I would rather have it come from the bottom up than for the top down. Because if it can come from the bottom up, then we can get agreement within the districts with the school board, the teachers, and everybody else. But it's absolutely something that I think makes a lot of sense.
So to repeat that, Governor, you're saying in your new education plan, a component of it would be a way to incentivize teachers.
There will be, like I say, it's not just a simple funding bill, but there will be things in that bill that I believe can empower a local district to make some decisions like that. Okay.
Can putting children into their career path in the first grade save money for districts, or is it more for
No, I mean, I just want kids to begin to think about what they might want to be. That's all, and discover their passions. It's not about saving money. It's really, you know, the earlier that a child can figure out, a student can figure out what they want to be, then they can kind of, I want to ultimately drive their education. I know what I wanted to tell you that's cool. I met this morning with Sebastian Throne. He is the guy that has been running the Google X program out there in California. He's also very involved in education. I think he taught an online education course for college that had 140,000 students in it, worldwide. He has some ideas about things that we can do with remediation, some things we can do with AP courses. I'm embraced Sebastian. We are going to work aggressively with him. And we also think a part of this answer in education is to get the businesses fully integrated with the education system. So here, for example, they told me that you can get credit for going out and working with a company if the math department approves the fact that you're going to learn something in a real world that can help you to advance in this world. They're going to give you credit for it. I think that's really cool, and it's something that has to be built out. And this all fits together with workforce and forecasting, where we're making great progress. But look for us to use technology even more. One other area that we need to get to in the future are our education colleges. The colleges of education have to do a better job of teaching students, their students, about real-life experience in the classroom. We've been hearing this consistently. Now, that's not designed to criticize the schools, the colleges of education, but we believe that there's great opportunity in trying to build more in the curriculum about the real world of what it's like to walk into a classroom where you have very big challenges. So we're going to meet with the colleges, and that's something to look for down the road. Technology is something, and then in the meantime, of course, we just have this little thing called school funding.
Governor, you said this is not going to be just a funding bill, but will it address what the court has identified as an over-reliance?
I've talked enough about this, and it's coming. This is the 14th. We're going to have something in 15 days. Is that when our unveiling is?
Yes, sir.
I think it's scheduled. Close to
15, 16 days.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be towards the end of the month where we'll unveil the whole thing and explain it to you. But you're going to have to put the thinking caps on because it's complicated. That's all I can say.
Hey, Governor, what message are you taking to automakers this week?
I'm going to talk about workforce training. Talk about cooperation with these K through 12, more vocational education, community colleges, four-year schools. We need more engineers. I mean, I'm going tomorrow and to meet with them all. They know that Ohio's become business friendly, and what can we do to help them? How can we help them to advance? How can we have better partnerships? So Tracy Plauk's going with me, people from Jobs Ohio. It'll be a full day in Detroit. Okay, thank you.
The audio was great on the podium. Just a quick, in a nutshell, what is this bill that you signed today? What's it going to do for Ohio?
Well, what it's going to do is it's going to allow the school folks, the school family, to be able to work, I think, better as a team to figure out their strengths and weaknesses so they can work together. And in addition to that, it's going to allow parents to more clearly understand the quality of their school and how their involvement can help to drive up education. There are very few states that have this whole A through F clarity, and we have found that those that do better, because it allows teachers, superintendents, school officials, school board members to know how the school's doing, and it also allows, as I say, parents to understand how the school is performing. We think those are all very important towards understanding our strengths and our weaknesses, fixing them, improving them, because education's for boys and girls, not for adults. Okay? Thanks.
Thanks, Governor.
Thank you.